What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind, episode 22. This is where we go back a week of all the tech news that shows that I released, and we just put them all into one episode so that you don't have to go back. You can go forward and watch them right here. But anyway, it was a very cool week for tech news. We had news on the Galaxy S10 storage sizes and colors being confirmed for that device. We also have Apple and Samsung being fined for slowing down phones, Samsung's new foldable phone being shown off very, very soon, and Samsung possibly releasing a gaming phone, and so much more. Enjoy the episode, guys, and make sure you give it a like. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about Samsung. Actually, both stories are about Samsung. The first one is a rumor of a new gaming phone that might be released by Samsung using their GPU, which is an in-house built graphics unit that's going to be able to power up this said gaming phone. There's really not a lot of details about it. We don't really know specs like RAM or storage or specific processor or how the resolution on the screen is going to be or what it's going to look like. The rumor is that they're working on a gaming phone. Now, I have a gaming phone in my pocket, and I've got a video coming on about it tomorrow, and it is the Razer phone, the Razer 2 phone. They had a second version. This is the second version of it, and this is a gaming phone. I mean, it does have a Snapdragon 845, 8 gigabytes of RAM, but these things are getting popular. Asus has their gaming phone. It has 120 hertz display, meaning you're going to get, super smooth motion on here with little to no lag on this. It's amazing. That's one of the cool things that we could possibly see in this Samsung gaming phone. Obviously, more processing power for the graphics unit so you can get better graphics, to get better games. You're gonna need some kind of controller as well, so hopefully they come out with some kind of manual handheld controller that we can use rather than just pressing buttons on the screen. It doesn't feel like gaming to me when I'm pressing buttons on the screen. I want a physical controller. But anyways, we'll keep our eye on this story, but that's the latest rumor, is Samsung gaming phone. Are you excited? And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Developers Conference. They put a small little video out promoting this event, and if you look at it really closely, you can see a foldable phone. And that was the rumor we've been hearing the last couple months, is that Samsung's going to release their foldable phone that's basically a tablet that turns into a phone at this event. Maybe not release it, but at least show it off in the public eye so that we can see it and maybe hopefully get our hands on it weeks to months or maybe a year later. But it's still looking like, if you can see from this video, the little close-up design of a foldable phone, meaning, again, that foldable tablet into a phone. It's very exciting, and we're only, 2 weeks away before we can possibly see this, so I am all in. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is a new patent for Samsung, and it is an all-display fingerprint sensor. Now, we've been hearing about this all-display fingerprint sensor that works on the entire screen for a while now, and this is a new patent that's just recently filed. And you can see from the screenshots, they basically paste their fingerprint in the middle of the screen, at the bottom of the screen, showing off that you'll be able to unlock it pretty much anywhere. It should be everywhere on the screen using your fingerprint. That's really, really cool technology, and currently is not available. So they have in-display fingerprint sensors, but not anywhere on the screen. It's usually towards the bottom, but this will be the entire screen, and this will be from Samsung. And looks like this technology, if it doesn't make it directly into the S10, it should be shortly after, but I'm guessing we're probably going to see this technology in the new Galaxy S10. And the last story of the day is also about the Galaxy S10, and it is the storage amount in the cheapest version. If you have not heard, the Galaxy S10 will come in 3 versions. It'll come in like a really cheap version, relatively cheap, a middle version, and then the best version, the S10 Plus, will basically have everything that you could possibly want in a Galaxy phone, and that's definitely the one I'll be going to. But there'll also be people on a budget or people that don't need everything in their smartphone. Maybe they just want a nice Galaxy phone. The Galaxy S10, the cheaper version, will definitely be in. It looks like the storage amounts in the Galaxy S10, the least expensive one, will be 64 gigs and 128 gigabytes. Now, if you throw in an SD card, you'll pretty much be fine with 64 probably, because you can save your photos, you can save your music on there, movies, things like that. and that'll be completely fine. 64 gigabytes is definitely the least amount of storage you'd want to have for a phone at this point, and for most flagship phones, that's the least they offer already. So 64 gigabytes, you know, it's okay. You can definitely deal with it, but I'd like to see it, you know, for me, I need something a little bit more. I just want that peace of mind. I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to have to throw in a SD card in there if I don't have to. So there you guys go. Galaxy S10, 64 gigs and 128 gigabyte version for the least expensive one. Let's get into the news. The OnePlus 6T, which will be officially announced next week, and we'll have a Snapdragon 845, most likely 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, a very cool looking OLED display with a little teardrop design for a camera on the top, so really no bezel, no bezels, anything. It's gonna look great. Looks cool, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, this phone should be, at least the latest rumor that's coming out, should be certified to be used on Verizon. So if you're on Verizon, you're starting to get some choices other than the phones that they offer directly. So you're looking like you're going to be able to pick up this OnePlus 6T and have it automatically work on Verizon. Also, the Razer Phone 2, which I guess needs a little bit of certification with Verizon, will also work with Verizon as well. So really two cool looking phones and two interesting devices at that, and phones again that you don't have to buy directly through Verizon is 2 thumbs up. I think it's a great thing for consumers to have some choice and have cool phones that don't have Verizon software embedded in them. And our last story of the day is about Apple and Samsung. They are being sued in Italy for slowing people's phones down. Now, if you remember sometime last year, Apple got sued for slowing people's phones down because they didn't want it to mess with their battery life and automatically shutting down. This is coming out of Italy. Like I said, it says the 2 firms had not provided clients adequate information about the impact of the new software or any means of restoring the original functionality of the products. For Samsung, it says Samsung told owners of the Galaxy Note 4, which is a very old phone, to install a new version of Google's Android operating system intended for the more recent Galaxy Note 7, but which users claimed rendered the old model sluggish. Likewise, Apple told iPhone 6 owners to install an operating system designed for the iPhone 7, leading to problems for owners of the older model. Both firms were issued the maximum fine of 5 million euros each and ordered to display a notice on their Italian websites informing customers of the watchdog's decision. Now, these are fines, so they either have to go to court probably to get these overturned, which I don't know if they can per Italy, or they're most likely just gonna have to pay these and put that sign on their website. So very, very interesting. I really haven't had too many issues myself, in what I can remember anyway, with Samsung phones slowing down after an update, but it looks like these people did, and they're got some money out of it, or at least the country did. Anyways, guys, let's get into the news. The first story of the day is there's a story circulating that the Galaxy S10, the 5G version, because it's supposed to have 3 versions of this phone, like a light, a medium, and a Ultra Plus version, and then also a 4th version that's going to have 5G built into it. And they're saying that this 5G version will possibly have 12 gigabytes of RAM. Well, if you've seen this chart, it looks like the chart is just showing how RAM in phones has exponentially gone up over the last year or so, and that possibly in 2018, regularly you might see phones that have 12 gigabytes of RAM in it, such as the Galaxy S10, but this is not a leak of any sort. It's someone's anticipation of what the market could show, maybe even on the Galaxy S10. So if you've seen this chart, it's probably not going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM. I really go by it that these 3 versions of the phone, the light, the middle, and the plus version, I'm thinking it will probably have 4, 6, and 8 gigabytes of RAM in order of that. So you probably look at, I can't imagine they're gonna throw 10 in the Galaxy S10 Plus or even 12. I mean, really just don't think they're gonna end up doing that. So if you're looking for the version that's probably gonna have the most RAM, it's gonna be the S10 Plus, and it's probably just gonna have 8 gigabytes. Next up, if you want to see even more screenshots of what the Galaxy S9, S9 Plus is going to look like with Android 9.0 Pie, here, go take a look. And if you have used a Pixel before, the fonts, the look, it's very pixelish looking, and that's not a bad thing. I like the way the Pixel looks. It's very simple. It's very modern, it's clean. Not that the Galaxy phones are, messy and not put together, but this just shows you that, you can throw this on a Galaxy phone, have Galaxy type features, but maybe have a slightly, modern, simple design. But at the same time, you have all those features of the Galaxy phone. So I like it. I'm excited to see this on a Galaxy phone coming 2019, unfortunately, but very cool to see nonetheless. And the last story of the day is also about the Galaxy S10, and it is the color options that you'll be able to choose when this phone comes out. Looks like, per OnLeaks, these are finalized colors. So based off of his sources, he's saying, according to my sources, black, gray, blue, red, green, and yellow have been locked as final Galaxy S10 color options. I do not expect to see all these colors available at launch, or if they are, I would assume some, like the lower versions will probably get like yellow and maybe red or something, or some kind of bright color, whereas I just don't feel like all these colors are gonna come out at launch, at least here in America. So for me, out of the black, gray, blue, green, red, and yellow, I would probably either choose red, possibly green, blue, black, gray. I really can't see myself choosing yellow. All those colors seem kind of cool to me except for the yellow. Let's get into the news. We've got two stories about Samsung. They're rumored stories, but they're coming from Bloomberg. The first one is about the foldable phone that's basically a tablet and folds into a phone. When it's folded, it's rumored to have a 4-inch screen per this report coming from Bloomberg. The other interesting tidbit that's coming out from it, actually it's two interesting tidbits, is Samsung's not finalized on the design of it. They don't know if they want it to close horizontally or vertically. Also, they're talking about the display. They're not happy with the display. I guess it has some kind of film coating on it, and it makes it feel like what a photo would feel like, a printed out photo. So they're kind of conflicted on that process as well. And the other thing is that they're working with Google on a special UI for this device, meaning that there's going to be a specialized version of Android running on this foldable phone. And the other part to this, a lot of parts to this, is that it possibly is looking like it's going to be released in Q2 of 2019. So if you had your eye on this foldable phone possibly coming out at the end of this year or early next year, probably looking into April, May, June, sometime in that range before this device comes out, which would make more sense because that's not what they release their phones in the beginning of the year for the most part and at the end of the year. So if they release a major phone in the middle of the year sometime, that's going to be better off for consumers and for them as a company. Our last story of the day is about the Galaxy S10. It comes from that same Bloomberg report, and it's got a bunch of things. First of all, there should be 3 versions like we've been talking about: a light, a medium, and a plus version of this phone. And one of the versions is supposed to have 5G built into it. And it looks like Verizon is going to be, at least the 5G version of it, the exclusive carrier for the Galaxy S10 5G version. Bad word I'm doing there. Anyways, guys, so if you want the 5G version of this device, it looks like you're gonna have to jump over to Verizon, or at least maybe, I don't know if they're gonna have an unlocked version of it. You can bring it to Verizon, or how that's gonna work. And the other things coming out of this report, and this is stuff we've heard as well, is that the curved edge displays will have almost no bezel at the top or at the bottom, which means all screen, no notch. And we've been hearing that for a while now. Also, triple cameras on the back and front cameras beneath the display. So you're looking at, again, no notches, cameras underneath the display, as well as a fingerprint sensor underneath the display. So it's it's starting to sound like, and it has been sounding like, an amazing, interesting phone to be excited for. And the last bit of news about the Galaxy S10 is they're also working on a version that possibly will not have a headphone jack. I don't think it's going to be all 3 of those versions. It'll be one of those versions, and if it is, I'd have to guess it's the least expensive one, the one with the flat display. I would have to guess. I mean, I could be wrong, but it would have to be. Why would they remove it from the best version if the best version has everything? Or, I just don't think they'll end up taking it from that version if it's only going to be one of them. So anyways, let's get into the news. The first story of the day comes out of AT&T and 5G. If you don't know what 5G, it's going to give you speeds theoretically on the regular up to basically about 1 gigabit per second, which is extremely fast. And there's really no official 5G devices yet on AT&T, except for one that's coming in the next few weeks. 5G phones will be coming in 2019 for AT&T, but the first official 5G device is the Netgear Nighthawk 5G mobile hotspot. So think of it as a portable router. You'll be able to connect your phone, tablet, computer, any really device that can connect to Wi-Fi, you'll be able to connect it to this service. And it will be available in the next few weeks. It runs the Qualcomm Snapdragon X50 5G modem, which will probably be the same modem you'll see in a lot of phones starting next year, 2019. As for pricing, we don't know any pricing for it, but again, it's a 5G modem, and some of the 5G cities that are available basically right now are Charlotte, Indianapolis, New Orleans, Dallas, Atlanta, Louisville, that's part of the list. And then in 2019, you're looking at San Francisco, San Diego, Nashville, Orlando, and others as well. The thing I'm most excited to see out of this is if AT&T ends up turning their 5G service into home service so that you can have hopefully unlimited data at your house as well for a reasonable price. And the last story of the day is going to excite Samsung and Fortnite fans, and that is there is more exclusive content coming to the Samsung devices that can play Fortnite. So starting November 1st, Samsung's getting exclusive gear coming to Fortnite. The cosmetic accessory pack will include a Galaxy-themed harvesting tool, glider, and back bling. And we don't have any official photos of this stuff yet, but we'll see it for sure soon enough anyway. Thanks for watching. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about Microsoft prototyping controllers that will attach to your phone and or your tablet. Now, before I show you photos of what it's going to look like, there's already controllers out there from other companies, third-party companies that do very similar things, but they're not Microsoft. Microsoft is a huge company that has the power, the know-how, the relationships to actually make this a reality. Now, what it looks like Microsoft's trying to do per these screenshots, as you can see, is just have little attachments that would work with phones or tablets, and you'd be able to use a somewhat looking Xbox controller on your phone or your tablet to be able to game. And they're looking to bring Project xCloud, which I talked about maybe a month ago, and that is a service that's going to allow you to stream to your phone and tablet console quality games that are on Xbox or PC right on your phone or your tablet. And obviously you're going to need a controller. This is a great start, and this could, again, like I said earlier, be the gap, the bridge that brings us all together to be able to play amazing games on our phones and tablets. And our last story of the day is about the Galaxy Watch, the LTE version. It is now available. Previously, it was only available on T-Mobile for a pretty long time. The phone's been out for over a month now, and it is now available on Sprint and Verizon as well. So if you want to get it for one of those three carriers, you now can get the LTE version. It's still not available for AT&T, unfortunately. I don't even know if it's going to end up coming out for AT&T. So if you want it and you're on AT&T, you're probably just going to have to get the Wi-Fi version, I would assume. But regardless, if you're on T-Mobile, Sprint, or Verizon, which I know a lot of you guys are, you can now get the LTE version of the Galaxy Samsung Watch. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. My question of the day is, does that controller that Microsoft's working on, does that get you excited to be able to play console quality games on your phone or your tablet? Totally does for me. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I will see you down the road.